Hey nerdy ghouls, welcome back to our spooky oasis. Today I'm going to be going over the books that I read for Spookworm Club's Dark Waters theme, as well as some of the reviews from our other fellow spookworms. Before we get started, I wanted to say hello and welcome to any new nerdy ghouls that might be watching. I'm Mandy Spooks, and this is our spooky oasis where we celebrate the magic of Halloween and spooky pop culture every day. We would greatly appreciate if you decide to join our community by hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you don't miss out on all of the fun, spooky, and nerdy stuff we're brewing up for you this Halloween season. Alright, so as you all know, I had a very busy month of July. In fact, I had all of these really fun activities planned out for my reading vlog, but unfortunately I did not have the time. I was really craving some lakeside, beachside vibes, and the month just got away from me, so I decided to take Happy Haunts Library's recommendation and do a reading wrap-up this month instead of feeling the pressure to put together a reading vlog. Okay, so first I read The Girl in White by Lindsay Curry, and I'm just going to read what the back cover says for you guys. It says, "Sweet Molly once lived in Eastport. Sweet Molly once loved the sea. Sweet Molly lost Liam to the shadows. Now Sweet Molly is coming for ye." And then let me see if it has, okay, so I'll read you what the book said on the, oh my god, I don't know what it's called, but the opening flap. So it says, "Eastport is the most cursed town in America. Mallory hasn't quite adapted to life in Eastport. Maybe it's because everyone is obsessed with keeping the town's reputation as one of the most haunted places to visit. Thanks to the nightmares she's had since arriving, Mallory is having a hard time sleeping. Combined with the unsettling sensation of being watched and losing chunks of time, she's worried that the ghost story she's been quick to dismiss might actually be real. When Mallory has a terrifying encounter with the same old woman from her dreams, she's not sure what to do. With Eastport gearing up to celebrate the anniversary of the first recorded legend, Mallory is forced to investigate the one story she's always secretly been afraid of. Sweet Molly." Okay, so this was my first middle grade read for Spookworm Club, and it did not disappoint, if I'm being honest. I think I could have gone for a bit more spookiness in it. I was actually afraid of reading it because I read about the curse, and when I saw like that Sweet Molly, I guess like rhyme, I don't know if it's a rhyme, but the quote that they use, I was a little worried that it would give me nightmares if I was sleeping alone or something, but the book wasn't scary enough to actually spook me, and I'm a big scaredy cat, so I don't think it was scary. It had a lot of Halloween vibes. Something I didn't really enjoy was that the main character, Mallory, really disses a lot on the fact that her town celebrates Halloween all year, which is mostly because it's a tourist like gimmick to get people to go and spend money in the town, of course. So I understand why she doesn't like it, but also as a Halloween lover, I didn't personally enjoy how much she digs on it, I guess, especially because I know a really big marketing part of this book was saying like it's a Halloween town, and I want to enjoy that without the unnecessary remarks, because I live with that in real life when people don't understand why I celebrate Halloween all year, you know? But that aside, I did have a lot of Halloween vibes. I felt like the characters in it were very likable. It doesn't even mention that she actually ends up getting help from some other teenagers in the book, so I found that storyline pretty interesting and heartwarming, honestly. So it was like a really sweet read. I was about to give up on the book because I felt like nothing was happening right around the plot twist when you find out what the true story is behind the curse, and that made the book very enjoyable to me. For those of you who know me, I very much care about empathy and the truth when it comes to telling like ghost stories or true crime or anything it is. I always live by being respectful, so this story really tugged at my heartstrings as far as like what we do when we're glamorizing haunted places and stuff. So that made it very enjoyable to me. I was very curious on how it was gonna end. And that's about everything I have to say on it without giving any spoilers. If I was going to rate it, I think I would give it 3 stars, if I'm being honest. I know that it is a middle grade book. I enjoyed it enough to finish it, but I don't know that I'd read it again. But I do recommend it for any ghouls out there that want like Halloween vibes, non-spooky because it's like spooky but it's not spooky enough to scare you, and that want like a wholesome spooky haunted story, if that makes sense, because I did enjoy it for those aspects, and it's perfect for people like me who are a little scared to try the more scary haunted stories, if that makes sense. So yeah, those are my thoughts on The Girl in White. And then a total 180 in genre and I guess target audience. We have Verity from Colleen Hoover. I want to give a major thank you to Sally from Too Fond of Books for this recommendation. I mentioned to you all that last month was very rough for me as far as reading something that wasn't like my normal thing that I'd go to, if that makes sense. And she was the one who actually told me, I think you need some romance in your life to kind of just like de-stress and not force yourself to read something specific. She could not have picked a better read for me at the time. Verity was the most unique book I've ever read, if I'm being honest. Let me see if I can read this for you. Okay, so it says, Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she accepts the job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in a successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Lowen arrives at the Crawford home ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough material to get her started. What Lowen doesn't expect to uncover in the chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended for anyone to read. Page after page of bone-chilling admissions, including Verity's recollection of the night her family was forever altered. Lowen decided... I'm so sorry. I got like out of breath, so I lost my spot. Okay. Lowen decides to keep the manuscript hidden from Jeremy, knowing its contents could devastate the already grieving father. But as Lowen's feelings for Jeremy begin to intensify, she recognizes all the ways she could benefit if he were to read his wife's words. After all, no matter how devoted Jeremy is to his injured wife, a truth this horrifying would make it impossible for him to continue loving her. A standalone romantic thriller from #1 New York Times best-selling author Colleen Hoover. Okay, so I actually went into this book blindly. I did not read anything about it. I just knew that Sally said it was a little smutty, it involved dark waters, and that it was a romance. So with all of that being said, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go into it and see what happens. And literally, like within the very first chapter, probably page, let me see what the first line was. Okay, yeah, literally first line, I was hooked. I hear the crack of his skull before the splattering of blood reaches me. That should have had a warning, I'm sorry. But that's how the book opens. It was so controversial. I don't even know what the word is. It was just the most unique thing I have ever come across because it was not what you expected. It was full of really horrible thoughts that you don't ever think anyone could actually have. It was very spicy, and it was a little spooky. I think like halfway through I was thinking, I don't know if this really falls on the like spooky side because we're supposed to be reading spooky books for Spookworm Club, but the more I read it, the more I realized it really does kind of have its like small moments of spookiness, because all of us have experienced that feeling when we're around hospitals or people who are not doing as well, obviously, that are in a hospital bed. I really apologize. I don't know the proper way to explain those things, but very similar to what happened in the book. I think we've all had an experience where we've felt a little eerie or spooked by something that we don't fully understand when it comes to medical terms and situations, and that really settled in for me. It felt very scary. The first time that something like that happened in the book, I was like, whoa, what is this gonna lead to? Like, it's more the suspense than anything that builds up in this book, because you're just like, oh my god, what is going to happen? So I really enjoyed that. The characters outside of Verity, of course, were very likable. I don't know, like, I honestly can't say enough about this book. I wish that I could give spoilers to you guys, but it was very juicy. Like, I think it was more juicy than it was spicy, if that makes sense. which is what tells you it was so good, because usually when books are spicy, I feel like sometimes they lack in like outside story outside of the spice. So this was really good. I was even listening to it at some point while I was doing my makeup, and Mr. Spooks was passing by and he was like, "What are you listening to? That sounds like insane, whatever you're listening to." And I was like, "It is, it's so good." So this was definitely a 5-star read for me. Like, I never really reread books, but I think this is one I might potentially revisit at some point. I don't know if it fits into any of our future themes, but it's a great side read if you're interested in something different. Okay, so let me pull up our reviews from this month. Let's see. We had a couple more, so as I'm looking for them, just a reminder that we do have our templates on Instagram, and the best way to get featured on these videos is to post your templates or my templates with your information, whatever books you've read and your reviews, to Instagram and tag me, because the way that I pull them up at the end is I look through my highlights that I create for the book club and just read them to you girls. Let's see. Okay, so the first one is Chapters from the Crypt. She read Devour by Kurt Anderson, and she said she gave it 3.5 stars. Her thoughts were, where I did enjoy the moment with the sea monster, not for the weak stomach on certain parts, and most of the build up to the monster was intense, and a couple of surprises. Some of the character building could have been shorter in my opinion. End quote. Okay, so sounds like she did enjoy parts of it. It was definitely gory from what I'm getting, but the character building could have been shorter. That means that I probably would not have enjoyed it, because I don't like when things are slow burns when it comes to reading. And then we have Chapters from the Crypt also read Dark Waters by Catherine Arden, and she gave it 5 stars. She said, "This is the 3rd book in the series, and it's probably one of my favorites. Certainly a twist I didn't see coming, scary, edge of your seat, sea monster, ghosts, and the will to survive." End quote. Wow, that was a 5-star. Interesting. And it was called Dark Waters. How on point. Good job. Okay, and then Too Fond of Books, Sally read Jaws, and she gave it 4 stars. 4 stars. Interesting. Jaws is a quick, entertaining read. It's the perfect beach read if you're twisted like me. I wanted more shark and less people drama. I would have preferred for Jaws to eat some of the annoying characters like Brody's wife. Also, the book is from the 70s, so it has some problematic content. In my honest opinion, the movie is better than the book. Wow, I'm intrigued. No one ever says that a book or a movie is better than the book. This was some very funny commentary. Thank you so much, Sally. I don't know. I might get the audiobook next summer. I don't know, because I'm curious. The movie is really good though. Like, if you have not heard my episode on the podcast about it, I love this movie, so you should go listen to the book. Listen to the podcast about the book. Okay, and then Sally also read Surfside Girls, The Secret of Danger Point, and it is by Kim Dwinnell, and she gave it 4 stars. She said, "Surfside Girls, The Secret of Danger Point is a beautifully illustrated graphic novel about 2 surfer girls who are BFFs solving a spooky mystery. Love the seaside setting. It has all the summer vibes." End quote. Dang, I kind of wish I had read that one. It seems like it would have been really fun. You cannot tell from the cover of this that it was a spooky book. I'm very disappointed in myself right now. I'll have to bookmark this for the next time we do this theme. And then Chapters from the Crypt read Sadie Walker is Stranded by Madeline Rue. This was also a 4-star read. She said, "What's worse than zombies? Zombies that can swim." Oh my god, this book had me at the edge of my seat, but my girl Sadie is like a bad luck magnet. Oh man, that sounds enticing. Dang, I should have read these more closely during the month, because I would have probably added some of these to my TBR. And then I think that's all the reviews we have. Yeah, that was all the reviews we had for the month of Dark Waters. As you all know, next month is Hauntathon. I am so excited about it. If you have not already seen my podcast promo, it's not really a promo, but I did reveal that the podcast is coming back in a video format. It will be available on YouTube, as well as the original platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you listen to your podcasts. But I'm really excited about it, and it's going to be in theme with our Hauntathon, so I'm super excited about it. We have the Hauntathon templates already on my Mandy Spooks Instagram page, as well as our Discord server. If you're not already on Discord, you're going to want to join. That's where the Spookworm Club pretty much talks to each other about what they're reading, how they're feeling, and of course a lot of other things like Halloween hunting, upcoming treats, events, pretty much anything spooky related is how our community keeps in touch on Discord. And I did also want to share that we have a Hauntathon shirt available. Hello Sparkles did the most amazing Mandy Spooks haunted house for it. I'm so excited. So if you want to check out my merch shop, there's probably like a link here below somewhere where you can click it and order your Hauntathon shirt, because it is definitely something you want to wear this spooky season. All right, goals, I can't wait to see what you have in store for Hauntathon. Until next time, sending you goals and kisses. Bye.